Hi, so this is a second video which will give you a better understanding of the process of mediation. So the tension between the two employees, Chris and Claudia, is creating a bad atmosphere which is affecting the coworkers and the organization as a whole. So let's talk about Chris. He is a really good worker and he just had his evaluation and he's happy with his work. His problems revolve around his coworker Claudia, who he admits is just as efficient as he is, and they have worked together in the past, and the project they worked on was pretty successful and everything. He just have issues with her bedside manners. So during the meeting, a particular flashpoint for Chris seemed to be the incident concerning Claudia moving the communal printer near to her office, which made it really hard for Chris because he had to go downstairs every time he had to pick up a document. And at the time, he was really angry and he thought it affected the other employees just as much, and he felt the need to stand up for the rest of the office, and he disrespected Claudia by yelling at her at the workplace, and that's how things got worse. And his final remarks were that Chris feels that Claudia gets away with everything she does, and Chris, however, gets accused easily. And he said, as much as a good worker Claudia is, it is really hard to work with her because he feels she is very self-centered. Now let's start with the mediation process. First of all, I'm glad that Chris and Claudia agreed to try mediation to rebuild the work relationship. Chris, it might be helpful if you could tell Claudia why you reacted the way you did and what was going through your mind. Chris, I understand that the incident affected you deeply and that you felt the need to stand up for the rest of the office. Claudia, could you explain to Chris why you moved the communal printer closer to your office and how you felt when Chris yelled at you? All right, Claudia, I understand that you felt violated and feel that Chris doesn't have any understanding of feelings, and you had a legit reason for moving the printer near your office. In terms of just taking this forward, because we have a difficult situation here where there's a bit of a standoff between you two, which is obviously having an impact on your work atmosphere. How are we going to resolve the situation? Claudia, during our one-on-one meeting, Chris admitted that he shouldn't have treated you the way he did. So I would like to ask you, how might Chris have dealt with the incident in a way that would have been more acceptable to you? Claudia feels that in the future, whenever Chris doesn't approve of something she does that would affect him, he should check with her first and let her know that it upsets him before he reacts to it. And Chris agreed that it was a good idea. Now, Chris, in our one-on-one meetings, you said that you feel Claudia is self-centered. What made you feel that? And is there something she can do to change that? Chris feels that Claudia is inconsiderate about other employees and does things in a way that is convenient for her, regardless of how it makes things difficult for the rest of the office. Claudia was surprised to hear that, as she was not aware of how it affected other people. Chris and Claudia, although feeling a bit awkward, both wanted to sort things out. So they agreed to explain their side of things to each other, and sorting out this misunderstanding proved to be a turning point and helped them move forward. I'm really impressed with the way things turned out in this mediation in this case. I think Chris and Claudia have a much better understanding of how each other work and perhaps how they work themselves. And I think it will positively affect their work atmosphere in the future. Thank you.